Euro 2020 officially starts today, so I'm going to bring you today my predictions literally just over 2 hours before the first game kicks off. Let's get into it. Better late than never, I guess. So, let's get into it. We're going to go through all of the groups here, Group A through Group F. Group F is a tough one. Obviously, that is the group of death for Euro 2020. And then we're going to predict the 4 best third-place teams to progress onto the knockout stages. So, let's get straight into Group A. You got to say Italy's got to be the favorites in this one. This is another tough one. These 3 spots could be completely up for grabs. I genuinely don't know. It honestly could go anywhere. I think Wales moving into number 2 is safe. Dan James, for some reason, I don't know a ton of the Welsh players, but I do know they have Daniel James, and for some reason he does bits for Wales, so I think it's got to put them over Switzerland and Turkey. Turkey's got a pretty good squad. So I think, like I said, it really could go either way. I think Turkey could move into the second spot if, depending on how Wales plays. Obviously, Wales isn't just down to Dan James. Obviously, they've got many more players. And I don't know, is Shaqiri even playing for the Swiss national team anymore? I don't even know if Shaqiri's playing. So we're going to go with Italy, Wales, Turkey, and Switzerland in that order. I think Wales and Turkey could be kind of one of those little flip-flops depending on who gets the most points. Obviously, that's how tables work, I guess. Depending on who gets, who can avoid dropping the least amount of sensible points in the group stages. Moving on to Group B, I think Belgium's going to dominate that one. It really shouldn't even be a conversation. I guess Belgium, they're going to have Kevin De Bruyne, whether he's returning a little bit late for the Euros due to his injury he had with his face, I guess. Russia's got a couple of decent players. Golovin is one of the names that stands out to me, but I think Denmark gets into that number 2 spot. Højbjerg has had a decent season for Spurs, and they've still got a lot of talented players up and down that roster. I think they're much better than Russia. I'm going to take, Finland's got Pukki, and you hate to vote against Pukki, but I think Russia's going to move into that 3rd spot, and Finland finishes last in the group. Moving on to Group C, another one that's fairly easy. I think Netherlands takes this one relatively easily. Not a ton of competition. Macedonia, I don't even know really a single player that plays for them. Austria should do all right. They've got a couple of decent players. David Alaba is one to mention, and Marcel Sabitzer as well. 2 fantastic players that definitely put them up a few tiers, and I think they would be favorites to get out of any other group had Netherlands not been leading this group. Netherlands have a fairly good squad. Look like they'll be a force to reckon with this Euro 2020. Frankie de Jong looks like he's had a decent season for Barcelona, but like I said, no Donny van de Beek, who actually does play decent for the Dutch national team. And Ukraine in 3rd. Like I said, these 2 I don't know a ton about. I know they have that Man City left back. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but the Man City left back, he's not very good, but it's about the only player that I know from that team. Moving on to Group D, England, it's coming home. No, I'm just kidding. England, I think, will win this group relatively easily. Croatia, I don't know whether to go with Croatia or Czech Republic. Souček in the middle of that, the Czech Republic midfield, I think could get them in the number 2 spot. Scotland's got a couple of decent players coming up, but I don't think they're quite ready just yet. McTominay, I don't think, is quite good enough to run that midfield. Billy Gilmore coming up as well. Robertson off the left. I don't know if they're quite good enough to be able to get out of the, confidently out of the group just yet. I think I want to put them in 3rd. And with Croatia this year, I think they're going to be a team that disappoints a lot of people this year. And this could be a bit of a hot take. I'm probably going to get roasted for this one, but I think Croatia could potentially finish last in the group. Like I said, this is probably going to be one that I get roasted for, but I guess we'll find out. Moving on to Group E. Spain, I think, should easily win this one. I don't see, with the quality that Spain's got throughout the entire team, I don't see how this is an issue for them. I think moving on to the 3rd and 4th spot, I think Slovakia and Sweden will battle it back and forth. This could either, honestly, finish either way, with one of these 2 finishing 3rd or 4th. And Poland, I think Lewandowski will to carry them into that 2nd spot to get them out of the group stages and into the remainder of the tournament. And onto the group of death. Portugal, France, Germany, and then Hungary's just kind of there. I genuinely don't know, because Portugal and France are my 2 Euro 2020 favorites. Germany looks like they have a bit of a decent squad, but obviously they had the underwhelming World Cup last World Cup. I don't even know, 2016 was it? Or 2018. I think France looks pretty unstoppable at the minute. I think France will win the group, and then I think Portugal come in 2nd. I think Portugal and France definitely number 1, number 2. I think it just depends on who takes the head-to-head when France and Portugal do play each other. Germany come in 3rd, and Hungary going to 4th. And this is not that Hungary's got a bad side. It's just you're in a group with Germany, France, and Portugal. So I think that is our list of, just a quick little recap. Group A, we have our Group A, B, C winners: Italy, Wales, Belgium, Denmark, Netherlands, Austria. Group D, E, and F, England, Czech Republic, Spain, Poland, and France, Portugal. I genuinely think a lot of these could go either way. I think Slovakia and Sweden could go either way to get in that 3rd position. Scotland and Croatia could really go either way, but I think Croatia is going to have a very underwhelming tournament. I guess we'll see how well their stars want to play. And I think this one's pretty much wrapped up. It's just a matter of these two. It's a toss-up between who wins that group. And I'm predicting the 4 best 3rd-place teams. Well, I think Germany's going to be one of the best 3rd-place teams in the overall tournament, but they are going to have to play France and they are going to have to play Portugal. So I think they could be one of the groups that get knocked out and not progress to the knockout stage simply because of who they've got in the group. If this is going based off the most points that progress to the next stage, I mean, they're going to take the points off Hungary, you would assume, and then they're going to have to take points off France or Portugal, and they're going to be very, very entertaining games to watch, but I don't know if they will. I think Slovakia gets in. I think Slovakia gets through. Realistically, I think they could beat Poland or Sweden, and Sweden. I think they will beat Sweden. So I think they can get through. I think that's a relatively easy group. But I think Spain is one of those teams that if they're not... Spain's a weird one. I feel like that when they're not on their game, they can easily drop senseless points like they did against Portugal. I believe it was the last Euros when De Gea had that howler and net. I don't like to bring up De Gea's howlers, obviously, but mistakes like that cannot happen. It seems like Spain traditionally make those mistakes. So I think Slovakia could be one of the teams, one of the 4 teams that gets through. Scotland could be another team. See, I hesitate to put Croatia and Scotland in that position, but I think if Scotland does get through, I think whoever gets through in the 3rd place of Croatia or Scotland, I think they are the one that gets through and takes the most points. So I think Turkey could be another one that potentially gets the most points. Wales isn't the most dominating of oppositions, the most threatening of opposition, so I think Turkey could be looking to take some points off of Wales. I think Russia and Turkey, to be honest, are the last 2. I don't see Ukraine doing much, and the only problem that I have with Germany is the fact that they are playing against France and Portugal. Moving on to the knockout stages, here we go. Obviously, I think Belgium take that one easily. They should against Scotland. Italy versus Austria. Italy's got a lot of young players, and I think the youth will be able to guide them through a fair bit of this tournament. France over Russia. If France loses to Russia, I don't know. I won't have anything to say, to be honest. Czech Republic and Poland. This is a good matchup. I think this will be one of the best matchups in the tournament from some of the smaller teams. Obviously, people say good matchups, and they talk about the biggest teams in the tournament. I genuinely believe that this could be potentially one of the best matchups, and I think Czech Republic, get it done with the midfield depth that they have. Spain should easily win over Turkey, but we never know. England and Portugal, this is a difficult one because I think they match up very well. England have had, they lost Trent, which isn't really a loss defensively, but offensively going forward, it is a loss. But Portugal looked very, very solid. Ruben Diaz in the back, Bruno running the midfield, and Ronaldo up front. So I think this genuinely could go either way. I know I'm wearing the England kit right now, I know, but I got to back my boy. I got to go with Bruno. And I'll take Portugal. Portugal-Spain, I think it'd be a really, really good matchup. I think either way, England-Spain or Portugal-Spain could be a fantastic matchup. Netherlands should easily get in over Slovakia, and I think Denmark get in over Wales. So back to the quarterfinals, top of the page here. Belgium and Italy. This is a difficult one. I think Belgium, for me, I personally believe that the Belgian national team, I don't know what it is, they don't have the right mentality to be able to do a ton with the international scene. I think Italy's got a lot of promising players. Chiesa is one of the players that I really like from the Italian national team, so I think they will get in over Belgium. I just don't think Belgium quite have the cohesion in order to do it. They really, with as much quality in the team as they have, they should be doing more, and they just traditionally haven't. France should easily win this over Czech Republic. I don't really have to explain that one. Spain and Portugal, I think it's going to be a rematch. It'll be a rematch of what we saw a couple years ago, and I think Portugal gets this one. I believe last rematch was a 3-3 draw. I think Portugal gets this one over. They've got a lot of better players in better form, so I think Portugal should handily win that one. I'm gonna predict scores for these finals as well. I'm gonna say 2-1 to Italy over Belgium. I'm going to say 3-0 over Czech Republic for France. And I'm going to say 3-1 Portugal over Spain. Could be a bold one. And then Netherlands over Denmark. We'll take the Dutch over Denmark. We've got a lot of powerful teams in here. I know we haven't really given a lot of upsets. This could be a tournament that has a lot of non-surprises. I think a lot of these teams that make it to the final and make it through the rest of the tournament will not be a surprise. I think the quality in these teams really takes a lot of the surprise factor out of it. I think these teams are too good to be losing games that they should not lose. France, one of my World Cup favorites and Euro 2020 favorites, going on to the final, and it's not any fault to Italy. They just got a tough side of the bracket. Portugal, France in the final. This is the final that everyone wants to see. The two best teams in the tournament. I genuinely believe that they both should make it through to the final, and I think England, if they can get by Portugal, will do the same thing and make it to the final. So I think the final will either be France and Portugal, or it will be England and France. If it were France and Portugal, as we have the bracket set up right here, I'm going to have to give it to the Frenchmen. I think the French are just too good. Looks like right now, Olivier Giroud is coming into some insane goal scoring form, as he typically does with France. For some odd reason, he just balls out. It's weird. He's a fantastic striker, but Kylian Mbappe in there as well. Paul Pogba just has too much fun with this French national team. I think they've got too much quality in the team to really have any issues in this final. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is a key piece for that Portuguese national team, but I don't think that they have enough in the team to be able to really put up a good fight against France. I think it'll be 2-1 with Portugal grabbing a late one just to make things a bit interesting. Guys, that is my Euro 2020 prediction. Can I zoom out and get a full table view of this? I can, kind of. There we go, guys. That is my Euro 2020 prediction. I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to do more of these style videos, and we're going to do some watch-alongs over on Twitch. If you don't already follow me on Twitch, I stream nightly at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 a.m. UK. I will leave my link in the description below. We're going to be doing some watch-alongs for a lot of these big games, and especially the final. Regardless of who makes it, we will be doing a watch-along for the final and a couple of the big group stage games. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you are new, make sure you subscribe to the channel, thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this prediction, who you think is going to be, if any, a major upset in this, and who you think wins Euro 2020. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.